Soda! In a major shakeup in the soda market, today PepsiCo announced it's buying the prebiotic soda brand Poppi for nearly $2 billion.
Then they launched fiber chips, now fiber popcorn.
Coke isn't staying out of it.
Coca-Cola's jumping into the prebiotic soda game with a new beverage.
Simply Pop.
The fiber war is heating up, and you're about to be sold a lot of it using the same playbook. First, the nutritionists talk about it.
We need a diet that has protein, yes, but we need the fiber.
Then come the articles. Then the celebrities.
So I have a very big high fiber breakfast.
And before you know it, it's in your shopping bag.
The real question is the fiber that you're being sold the same as the fiber you actually need? Or are big companies trying to fool you one more time? My own reports may give you a shocking answer. Fiber has one major manufacturing problem. It doesn't behave like other ingredients. Look at this.
1 1/2 tablespoons of glucomannan powder. And you need a whisk. All we have to do is wait for 15 minutes.
That's just 1 spoon of fiber in water. Now imagine putting that inside a biscuit. That's the problem the food industry ran into. Fibers change texture, shelf life, and can't directly be put inside expensive machines. So in 1986, a Belgian company set out to solve this problem. They worked out how to pull a fiber called Inulin out of chicory root. Odorless, completely soluble, slightly sweet. Then they created an even sweeter version, FOS. Manufacturing companies started removing fiber from the ingredients that needed to be refined and then adding it back using these versions. The fiber number on the label remains the same.
Pretty genius trick. But are these two fibers actually doing anything inside your body?
To answer this, you need to understand the 5 different roles that fiber plays.
Most people think of fiber as something that promotes regular bowel movements, but fiber does much more than just keep us regular.
Some turns to gel, slows your sugar. That's the one diabetics need. Some swells and fills your stomach, kills appetite. That's for weight loss. Some gets eaten by your gut bacteria and makes a compound that goes straight to your liver. That's for fatty liver. Some feeds different bacteria and calms inflammation. That's your skin one.
So 4 fibers with 4 completely different jobs. And I'm not even done. But the point is, why eat one type blindly when you can pick the one you actually need for whatever your goal is? Better skin, better blood sugar, better weight loss. I've made the exact same mistake. My cholesterol has usually been on the higher side, and a quick search told me I should eat oats. It's actually one of the most undisputed claims in all of healthcare.
Well, oat fiber basically is one of the most palatable of the sorts of sticky fiber, viscous fibers that we have.
So today's tip for lowering cholesterol, number 1, oats every morning.
An overnight oats recipe.
This is what we need at a time when many of us have raised cholesterol levels in the blood.
So I did. 90 days, every single day straight.
Here are my reports. No real change. LDL still high.
A little studying later, I found I wasn't eating the wrong type of food, just the wrong form.
Turns out, oats contain a unique fiber called beta-glucan.
It is the viscosity or the thickness of the gel it forms that plays a critical role in reducing LDL cholesterol.
This stuff binds to bile from your liver, holds onto it, and throws it out of your body.
Then your body has to make more bile, and it does this by pulling the LDL cholesterol out of the blood.
That's why your LDL cholesterol numbers come down.
So, why didn't mine?
In India, you get 2 kinds of oats, instant and steel cut. Instant is rolled so thin, it breaks the beta-glucan. That means the oats don't gel like they are supposed to inside the body.
Instant oats are highly processed, often loaded with sugar and flavorings.
The label on both packs shows the same quantity of fiber. One pulls cholesterol out of your blood. The other does almost nothing.
Guess which one I was eating? This pattern repeats across the entire high fiber shelf.
On both the cheap end and the expensive end of it. Digestive biscuits, multigrain cereals, high fiber noodles, fiber-rich atta. Turn any of them around, you'll probably see that the number 1 ingredient is whole wheat.
Whole wheat's fiber is almost entirely insoluble.
Insoluble fiber means that if you drop that fiber into a glass of water and stir it around, it will never dissolve. It will never mix in.
This type doesn't help much with diabetes, cholesterol, fatty liver, or skin.
When you eat it, it brushes the sides of your intestine and adds to your stool weight. Based on how much they add, you'd need to eat 18 digestive biscuits or up to 5 bowls of cereal to get the 10 grams that would really change your stool shape.
If you try to attempt this stunt, all the best. There's natural, far more effective ways to get what you need. And I'm going to show you some of those at the end of this video.
On the premium end, you'll find yogurt, ice cream, gut health drinks, and the prebiotic sodas. Poppi, the one Pepsi paid $2 billion for. These don't use wheat fiber. They use inulin and FOS, the soluble ones we started with.
These fibers feed your gut bacteria. That's a good thing, right?
Remember, beta-glucans from oats, ESFA says excellent for cholesterol management. But for inulin or FOS, cholesterol management, no. Triglyceride maintenance, no. Keeps you full for longer? No. Helps you lose weight? No. Improves immunity? No. Reduces gastro discomfort? No.
So what do these expensive fibers do inside you?
When bacteria ferment fiber, they make one of 3 compounds and they are not equal. Butyrate calms inflammation, feeds the gut lining. People with eczema swear by this one.
You know, we hear about leaky gut and things like that. This is the anti-leaky gut, so short-chain fatty acids, especially butyrate, will do that.
Propionate travels to your liver and helps switch off fat production, the fatty liver one.
Acetate, the most abundant, and its benefits? Honestly, we're not entirely sure.
Acetate, I believe, is actually the most abundant of the short-chain fatty acids. And it has very different effects than butyrate as well. It's been shown to be sometimes detrimental and sometimes beneficial.
2 do real specific work. One's a question mark. So, which one do inulin and FOS mostly make? The question mark.
Now, if you think I'm being a little harsh on this high fiber claim, I'm going to let you know I'm not the only one. In 2024, someone took Poppi to court.
A popular new soda company that brands itself as Gut Healthy is now facing a lawsuit from a consumer
for exactly what we're talking about.
Doesn't contain enough prebiotic fiber to bring any potential benefits.
2 grams of inulin sold as a gut health drink.
2 grams is not going to cut it. And this is, again, prebiotic inulin, so it's not like the fibrous material.
Poppi didn't even fight it. They settled. $8.9 million.
If you'd kept your receipts, you got 75 cents a can. There's a whole website for it, poppysettlement.com.
Don't you just love the US? As much as I'd like to believe a claim in fancy colors will probably still pull people in.
It's happened with every superfood you can name. It'll happen with fiber too.
So if the fiber that you're being sold isn't what you need, where do you actually get the good stuff? The answer is in your kitchen, and it's cheaper than you think it is. But remember, don't start with the food. You start with your goal or your condition.
If it's cholesterol like me, beyond oats, you've got barley, which actually has more.
That magic number is 3 grams, meaning 3 grams of beta-glucans per day.
3 grams is about a bowl of oats or a serving of barley swapped in for your rice. Steel cut or rolled, never instant.
If you had to compare and decide which would be better, the steel cut oats is better, but the rolled oats is good. You don't want to get quick oats. That means it has been cooked. Some of the nutrition is gone.
Have it with a meal, not on an empty stomach. That's when the bile is there for the fiber to grab. Do that daily and you're looking at a 5 to 10% drop in your LDL. For weight loss, you want a fiber which swells in your stomach, takes up space. So when the food arrives, you're already half full. 2 fibers do this best. One is Psyllium, Isabgol. 1 tablespoon in water about 15 minutes before you eat. And Konjac, it's contained glucomannan, which can soak 50 times its weight in water.
Now, if it's your blood sugar, you're supposed to use the fiber a little differently. The gelling helps, but you don't want it before your meals. You want it during your meal.
The hero is Chana. Half a cup cooked next to your rice. Not before, not after. With it. The gel can only slow the sugar that's arriving alongside it.
So if you eat just rice, for example, your blood sugar might look like this.
But Chana plus rice and the spike is smaller and more stable.
Super low effort hack to try. Do that and see how you feel with a smaller spike and a smaller crash, fewer cravings, less fatigue.
And it keeps working into your next meal hours later.
Legumes are one of the only foods that actually can pull this off.
And also flax, 1 to 2 tablespoons ground with your meal. Grind it fresh or the whole seeds pass straight through and the gel never gets out.
So what you want to do is try to get a grinder Okay, and all you do is you put in a tablespoon of flax seeds, grind it fresh over your salads, into your smoothies, whichever way you want to have it, over your yogurt.
If it's your liver, you're after propionate, and the fiber that makes the most of it is guar or its slightly processed brother PHGG. If it's PHGG, it's a powder, a spoon about 5 grams in water.
And they found that among soluble fiber, guar gum came out in the top.
Dissolves clear, no taste, no texture. Take it with a meal.
Start with just half, because in the first week, it may really bloat you. And always have this in water. Don't have this dry. That's not how you're supposed to take it.
And your skin, this is the one to be most honest about. The compound is butyrate, and the fiber that makes the most of it is resistant starch. Cooled rice, cooled dal, green banana.
Resistant starch and where it's coming from, there's different types. The type that's kind of naturally present in some foods like green bananas and legumes. There's also a type that you get when you kind of heat something and then cool it, and that starch gels and becomes resistant.
Some of these trials have used up to 40 grams of resistant starch per day. Let's be clear, that's a lot more than you can get from your food. They were all supplement based, so you can't do a like for like comparison. Also, this is supposed to be for angry skin.
Eczema, psoriasis, the red angry kind, not glowing skin.
Studies have shown that people with eczema have a less diverse gut microbiome and they have less butyrate producing bacteria. Now, if you have a less diverse gut microbiome, this often reflects with a less diverse skin microbiome. And that's because the gut and skin are uniquely connected through the gut-skin axis.
Fiber is not a face cream that you apply and you suddenly start glowing. But the whole point is that one fiber can't do everything. You're supposed to pick the one that you actually want, or the one that you actually need.
The gel for your sugar and your cholesterol, propionate for your liver, butyrate for your skin.
So don't just eat more fiber. Match the fiber to the job you want it to do for you.
So next time a label shouts high fiber at you,
you'll ask which kind and what it actually does inside. And that's the whole game.